So I'm an expert customer, and I'm going to tell you right now, 90% of the time when I shop a store, it's the same story. It's a boring voice message. When they get me on the phone and I pick up the calls, I always ask this question. I'd say, hey, Rollins, you're a Ford store and there's about 22 of them in Metro Atlanta. Why would I buy a car from you? In other words, what's your value proposition? More often than not, I get this. Excuse me, sir, what is a value proposition? I said, okay, let me rephrase the question and leave part of that out. Why would I buy a car from you? And here's what I get. We have a great selection. Our service department is terrific. We have a wonderful location. We treat customers like family. Our CSI scores are off the charts. If everybody says the same thing, is it an advantage?
No.
No. Now, if there was a couple, let's say 10 of the Ford stores here in Atlanta, if they said, well, we'd love to have you come buy a car from us, but don't have it serviced here. We've never fixed anything right the first time. Our selection is very limited, so we don't confuse customers like you, because y'all pretty stupid, and we don't really treat you well, but we got a good price. Okay, then what I said earlier might have some impact, but nobody ever says that. No. Everybody says the same thing. So, the voice message or the text or the email we send out initially has got to have a wow factor. I was thinking about this lady this morning who I see a lot of on TV. She's the dealer at Beaver Toyota, up and coming. Big, nice looking lady, big blonde hair. I don't know if you've ever seen the commercials. She's really good at what she does. I mean, she's obviously a car dealer, but she's also does her own commercials, and she's pretty effective. Most car dealers aren't very effective at it. She's very effective. And she always ends up with, we want to wow you. And you know, if I'm going to spend, the average price of a new Ford, I'm going to guess, is close to $40,000. That's the average price of a new Ford. Okay? Your used car inventory, what is it, 20, 21, 22?
Yep.
Okay, if I'm going to spend $21,000 or $22,000, I'd like to be wowed. I went out to dinner, been out to dinner once in the last 3 months.
Sat down and ate there?
On the patio outside, okay? And I think I spent $150, but I expected to be wowed for $150, whether it was the service or the food or the combination.
Oh, yeah.
I want to be wowed. If I'm going to spend 21, 22 grand, I want to be wowed.
Hey, Steve, one time something else quick.
Okay. So, what I discovered, Rollins, on Tuesday
They might.
is the voice messages had no wow in them at all. The texts had no wow in them at all. So that's what we worked on. We worked on creating some wow. And you guys have an ability to wow a customer like no other Ford store in the state of Georgia. The nearest Ford store to you that could wow them like you do is in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. But if the sales team isn't doing it, if they're not using their competitive advantage, is it a competitive advantage?
No.
No, not at all. It'd be like sending a well-trained Marine into battle in Afghanistan with a Bowie knife. I don't care how talented and well-trained he is, if he ain't got the right weapon, he's in for a very short life. And, you know, I mentioned this to Danny the other day. I said, Danny, if you're not prompting your customers, your salespeople, when they're working a deal, to say certain things, then we're not doing our job as a management team.